The British pound traded in a relatively narrow range to start the week, nudging higher back above 120, holding in around a range of 120 to 121. Not a very exciting session as far as seeing big moves in either direction, although the trend did continue of moving higher. Recall back on July 14th, the day that the euro went below parity against the dollar, we saw the pound trading at around 118 its low. Since then, it has rallied about 2.5% and continues to hold that. It'll likely be more of a range trade ahead of some key events coming up later this week, things like FOMC, US GDP on Thursday, as well as next week's Bank of England rate meeting. So ultimately right now, with rates going higher here in the US and likely over in the UK, it will be interesting to see the pound's reaction given the fact that the dollar's been so strong and we just have come off those recent lows in the pound. So again, today a very narrow range, but do continue that trend, settling today north of that 120 level. Now, what does this all mean for volatility? Well, if you check out that CVOL index over at cmegroup.com, you'll notice that volatility did see a bit of a move higher when the pound was moving lower into those extremes down around 118, but ultimately has started to flatten out as we've rallied, and ultimately did nudge a little bit higher today, but that's more event risk that we're looking at ahead. Again, with FOMC and Bank of England coming up on the calendar, that's to be expected. So volatility slightly higher today, but not newsworthy and not a huge event. Lastly, let's talk about the speculators and their positioning. What are they doing? Well, they've been exiting their shorts. So they've been short the pound for most of 2022. They've now started to exit those shorts, clearly ahead of some key event risk. They've been doing this since going back to the end of May, so this isn't a new shift, but ultimately they continue to exit those shorts. That could be one of the reasons why we're seeing some support here in the pound, at least off those ultra lows. So the pound opens up this week hovering at 120, continuing the trend that we've seen since July 14th, moving higher ahead of key events here in the States. That's FOMC and US GDP and next week's Bank of England meeting.